All right. Okay. All right. Welcome everyone. Welcome again. Today we'll be having three very special guests speak to us about the GDSC community and the benefits. They are going to share a lot about the experience also. And first of all, we'll be starting with our program manager, at Google, Mr. Sodiq. And before he starts, I would like you to, like I said earlier, for those people that were in earlier, get your notes. I'm very excited for the speakers we have here with us, and I'm very honored also to have them here. So they have a lot of experience, combined amongst themselves. So I want you to prepare your notes, prepare your notepad. Then also you can ask questions in the comment section below. If this is your first time using the Google Meet, there is if you're on your mobile phone, you could just simply click the three dot icon, I believe. So you have something called the in chat both in there. You click on it, you'll be able to send your questions in the app. So at the end of their session, you can ask, your questions. So at least they have like 7 to 5 minutes to answer your questions that you might have for them. So prepare that. But if you're in your system, you can just simply see it at the bottom right. You will see the chat there. People are already using it. So you can ask your questions there and it will be answered. All right. So Mr. Sadiq, good afternoon, sir.
Um, Hi everyone. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Thank you for having me. I do have, of course, I'm in Nigeria, so I don't currently have electricity at the moment. So I might not be able to turn on my video. But I'll just do like a short introduction of GDSC, share what it's about, and and then once I do that, I'll take a few questions because I know I have. They just brought lights. Can you imagine? These people want me to show. Anyway, firstly, I want to appreciate Emmanuel and the rest of his team for putting this together. I know how tough it is to put together things like this. So well done, amazing work, and congratulations on this fit.
Thank you.
What is GDSC? Or what exactly is it? So my name is Sadiq Akinjobi. I work on the developer relations team at Google, meaning that I sort of help and sorry, give me one sec. So please just give me one sec.
All right, sir. It's fine. So
So while I'm doing that, I want us to do a quick challenge while we're waiting for me. But the challenge is very, very easy, right? I want you to type uh the name of the school is
Federal University of
Full how do you pronounce it very yourself?
Federal University of
Okay.
Turkey, FUO.
Okay. Otsueke. Is that
Yes.
correct?
Yes, it's okay.
All right, that's where our former president is from. So what I want you to sort of do for me is that I want you to type in the chat Otsueke, one letter at a time, and see who is going to type it consecutively without let me see whether I can give somebody a small prize. Somebody's almost getting it though. So did anybody get it? So we have been our program manager that is Sodiq, that the program manager. Nobody got it. Okay, so let me start because of time. So hi everyone, welcome again. Let me see. Nobody got it. So delete, please let me check and see if somebody gets it. I've currently
Elliot.
muted
Is
myself,
it
so if you
Elliot?
I can't hear you. So for good experiences. So my name is Sadiq Akinjobi.
I got
Um,
it. So
Yeah,
I currently work on
Elliot got
developer
it.
relations team at Google, and
someone
I'll
got
share a
it.
bit about my story and my
Someone
journey.
got the challenge. Oh.
Shortly.
Hello, Sodi, can you hear me?
Or my story and my journey shortly. So I first started out. I was a student like most of you here on this call because I know that our GDSC didn't have. I know that our GDSC didn't have all of the. They have other people that are not necessarily students. So I started as a student at the University of Lagos, right, the best university in Africa. And then when I got the opportunity to sort of inspire others and sort of help them grow. And it was really an amazing time for me. You can see from the first frame, it was taken in 2019. I think I just finished an hackathon that time at GDSC Dilag. I was a mentor at that time. And I got the opportunity to sort of inspire others, help others grow, and sort of impact my community, right? And then fast forward to 3 years later, after doing a bit of things, right, on two side of doing, trying to have impact, trying to do. People are still trying to compete for this thing. I'm not doing a bit of thing, right? I got the opportunity to get into Google, and now I currently work at Google. And if I look back at my journey, right, in terms of where I started from to where I currently am, I sort of look back and I see that it is just four things that sort of mattered the most in my journey that sort of made the sort of impact and sort of result that I have that sort of made it happen. And I'm going to share more on those four things. The first one is learn, build, share, and grow. So I'll talk more about learning, building, sharing, and grow, and I'll take questions at the end of the session. So what is GDSC? GDSCs are typically student club where typically student clubs where you come together, you're interested in technology, and you sort of provide the opportunity for students to be in the same place and try to learn together, right? You know, there's magic that happens when students come together and they try to learn and build solutions for local businesses. And the reason why we are doing GDSC is to bridge the gap between theory and practical, right? There's a lot of theory, there's a lot of theory that you're being taught, but sort of now bridge the gap between theory and practical is why we have GDS and sort of provide access to tools, to skills, to resources, to network, and sort of help you to contribute to your personal and professional development, right? And the vision of the program is really to look back and empower students so that you can also now empower your community through technology. So you are being empowered to sort of impact and help your community. And some of the reasons why you should be a part of GDSC is number one, it gives you that networking opportunity where you're able to network, you're able to, for example, I think Blessing is going to speak after me. Without GDS, I've not met a boss like that, somebody that he really has inspired me and helped with my career and all of that. Also, you get a place where you are able to share ideas and get feedback. So you're sharing ideas of something you want to do, and sort of getting feedback of what you want to do. You also get a place where you're able to learn from your peers. You get a place where you're able to get access to amazing speakers from Google and beyond. You get access to skills, tools, and developer resources. And I like this one because for some of you, being a part of GDS will be the first time you're going to face a stage ever in your life. And then sometimes facing a stage can be pretty tough. But when you are doing it among your peers, it is way much easier for you to start it and for you to do it. So it gives you the first foray or your first opportunities in terms of you're speaking in public, you're trying to train, or you're trying to be sound technically. It also gives you that sort of professional and personal growth where you're trying to grow professionally, also growing personally, and all of that is happening. You also get job or internship opportunities, right? Where you are people are posting job opportunities, you are seeing them. So people are posting job opportunities, you are seeing it, and you're also preparing yourself for job opportunities because of all the opportunities that you have learned, all the things that you have learned along the way. Right. So some of the things I want you to look out for is look out for code labs, look out for study jams, look out for webinars, look out for meetups. So code labs is you're coding along, somebody is teaching or you're following along a tutorial. Study jam is also similar. You are learning something over a period of time. Look out for webinars where you're sort of trying to events like this where a speaker is speaking to you and you're picking points. Look out for meetups, right? In person or virtual meetups where you are also doing the same thing, trying to learn. And then I just wanted to quickly also touch on what we call the solutions challenge, right? And it is essentially an annual contest where students from Gdsc community they sort of come together and they try to develop solutions for local community problems, trying to solve it with technology. So you come together and you form a team and you're trying to learn by building real solutions. So you can pick any of the 17 SDGs, right? You pick it together and then you try to solve for it. And then you can see some of the goals that you can aim for, whether you're trying to look for a problem around no poverty, looking for a problem around zero hunger, or it is good health and well-being, or quality education, reduce inequality, and just trying to sort of come together and trying to pick one of those problems and solve. And you are not alone, right? We have about 231 clubs right now across the continent in 30 plus countries. So the sort of impact that we have, even I like to call it local dreams. So you're in your city, you're trying to thrive, but what you are doing has a global reach in terms of the how large scale the impact can be in. And I'm really looking forward to hearing and listening to some of your stories. This is a story from patients from Uganda. Patients sort of shared our experience about leading the first developer club. And people have looked at that story and sort of gotten inspired from somebody that moved from a non-computer science background to a computer science background. And she has picked some of those skills and some of those lessons from this and sort of used it to sort of continue to thrive. So I'm really personally looking forward to reading all your stories. You can either share them on the community blog, or you can even tweet them on social media using the hashtag Developers Pen Club. Which sort of now brings me back to the four things that I think really helped me from when I started my journey to the point that I am. And the four things that really learning, right? There was a lot of learning for me. So you have the learning opportunities with the study jams, with the code labs, and all of that. The second one is the building. I got the opportunity to build really, really interesting stuff. So trying to make things happen, building very, very amazing stuff. The third one is sharing. I got the opportunity to share my progress as I was building, so people could tell that, okay, yeah, Sadiq actually knows this thing, he's learning all of these things, and they can sort of validate my growth in public. And then growth, when you are learning, you are building, right? Which GDSC gives you the platform to do. Yeah, organically, you're going to see growth in your personal life and in your professional life. And finally, I would sort of wanted to just mention that I'm really, really looking forward to seeing all of the GDSs at DevFest. I don't know whether you know what DevFest is, but DevFest is simply developers coming together. There are a lot of DevFests across the continent. and in various cities. So kindly check out this link and RSVP to a dev fest near you so you can connect with developers, you can connect with designers, can really connect with the community on a bigger scale. If you run into me at any of the dev fest, I'll try to attend a few dev fest. Please do not be a stranger. Just say hi and let's just connect and let's just relate and engage each other. And thank you so much for listening and trying to follow through. If you have any questions, I would stay for like I had a meeting, but I would stay for about 5 minutes to see if there are any questions. And then we would I'll hand over to the organizer to continue.
Okay, I think we'll have one question. You can go ahead and ask your question, or you could put it on the chat. Hello, I saw somebody raising their hands. If you want to ask question, you can go ahead and ask now, or you can put it in the chat below, and I will read it for. Okay. All right. It seems there's no question at the moment. So I would. Sorry.
I got a question to ask.
Okay, if you have a question, just say it out, or you could put it in the chat box.
Okay.
Hello. Collins, are you trying to ask a question?
Yeah, I'm trying to ask a question.
All right. Kindly ask.
My question is that what he talked about centered on developers, right?
Yes, developers, designers, basically tech enthusiasts.
Okay. For those who have little or no knowledge or rather experience, how the person go about it?
Okay. Sorry, if I got your question rightly, you were saying if someone has no experience at all in tech, how should he go about it, right?
Yeah, or little experience, let me use that term.
Okay.
And the person desires to engage in it.
Okay. So did he hear the question, or should I answer that?
So you're asking that if you're a beginner, how do you take advantage of this? Is that correct?
Yeah. And how can you blend in only to the fact that you're a beginner? I don't know.
So the interesting thing is that the way we try to run the club, we run the club in the sense that with the regional team, because I work on the regional team, we try to support all the clubs, right? So we provide resources, materials. The leader of your school we now determine how they want to approach it and what they want to do. So what I would I think Emmanuel is in the best position to answer this question, right? But what I would just advise is one thing I did not mention is that most times it might look like everything that you want to do, let's leave it to the organizers for them to do and for them to figure out. But I really want some of you to step up and try to assist them as much as you can. So for example, if you know web very well, for an example, and you're good in web, you can plan with them together and sort of organize a web series where you now train and mentor people of your fellow students that do not know it at all and sort of upskill them to a particular level. So it is based on whatever the lead wants to plan, and then we try to support as much as we can. I hope that answers your question. So yeah, everybody's welcome, whatever skill level, whatever level that you are in. And it's not just about training, right? That's what there's the learning part, there's the building part where you're building and participating in solutions challenge and competitions like that. And then there are other additional things that the lead, depending on how dynamic the lead and the team and the school is, they can also add to it.
Okay, let me add to that.
Just one last.
Okay.
All right, okay. Owing to the fact that schools are strike right now, is that possible to see, are we actualizing it or got to wait till whenever the strike is being called off? Like, do we have to be remotely wherever we are, or is something we have to gather one in person?
Uh, okay. Let me answer that. Um, Regardless of the strike, for example, we are having this meeting regardless of the strike. So most of our courses and classes or code lab sessions will be online for the duration of the strike. Then as immediately the strike is over, we'll be having physical meet. Both we'll be having both physical and online meet because the community, like he said, it's open to everyone. So to be able to reach the most persons, we will mix, both physical and online meet. So wherever you are, when we make a post concerning maybe a code session or a training in web and the different areas of field of study, you can join in whichever one you're interested in. um, Concerning your first question, we've already set up a team that will handle different field in tech, either UI UX or web or machine learning or Web3 or blockchain, right? So whichever one you are interested in would have different series, would have different mentors. You have basically you have the resources available for you to learn whatever you want to learn wherever you are. So I don't know if that answers your question.
Yeah, it answers my question. And
All
thank
right.
you for that.
All right. Thank you. So someone else was raising their hands. That would be the last question before we take our next speaker.
Uh, Sorry, I have a question.
Okay.
So what languages do I need to be versatile in to get a job in Google or something like that?
Okay.
If
All
that
right.
question is for me,
Yes.
I don't know. That's the honest truth, right? Because Google is a large company. So I know that if you want to be a software engineer, I think that the path is going to be most likely, I'm not sure. I think Blessing should know, Sha, but I think that you most likely will be very good in data structures and algorithm. So you can scale through the interviews and you can enter. And then when you enter, that's when you now place you in a team that you want to work in. So it's a matter of how solid is your DSA. That's data structures and algorithm.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Sadiq. Let me take this last one. If you could answer this last one. Someone says, I have the same issue. I have come across several hackathons which I needed a team to help me finish it. Unfortunately, I have no idea on the particular program. Can I bring such case to my club and whom I'm in to call for that? Okay. Okay, I think I get your question. I don't know. This is Ugo Chu, John Kingsley. So basically, you're asking about if you may come across hackathons, maybe setting up a team. Is that what you're asking? Setting up a team for your hackathon. Hello. Okay. All right. So probably we'll take more questions later on. Okay. Thank you so much, Sadiq, for that amazing session. I'm sure we are all learning a lot. But now I would like to introduce our next speaker. Blessing. Give me a moment, please.
Hi everyone. I'm excited to be here today, and thank you very much for having me. Um, and my colleague, my friend Sadiq, we've known way back 2019. It was interesting to hear him talk again. And I also want to say hi to Jessica Anna, who'll be talking after me. And a big shout out to Emmanuel and his team, and a few very familiar faces I've seen here. Some of you have met before, some of them haven't been met before. I hope to meet them. Yeah, so today, when Emmanuel told me to talk about just a minute, I said, see, you know what, maybe, right? The topic that I'll be really interested in research about the topic and come back to talk about it. And you told me to talk about just building your resume, and that's exactly what I'll be doing today. All right. Um, Please let me know if you can see my screen. All right. Oh,
We
okay.
can see your screen.
Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Oh, beautiful. So today I'll be talking about building your resume. And then before I proceed, I know that from the questions being asked here today, that a lot of you are pretty much at the very like zero phase or phase one of your career. And then it's almost important that while you're learning new technologies, you're also building your portfolio and your resume because, I mean, what's the essence of learning something if you cannot get a decent job with it? Or what's the essence of learning something if you cannot get gigs with it? All right. So while we continue on this topic, it's important to know that at every stage of your career as tech people, you need to always boost your portfolio. And that has bettered today's topic. All right. So I'll be talking about building your resume, which is like preparing for a global tech career. And then I don't want you to say, hey, I'm just getting started. How do I prepare for a global career? I mean, that can be very ambiguous, but just keep cool as we continue. Yeah, so my name is Blessing, um, senior documentation engineer and a serial entrepreneur. Um, doing just more than coding lately, doing a lot of things, business, crypto, and all. Yep. So I think the first thing to understand is that resumes, portfolios, resumes are aimed at hiring managers. So when you know that, oh, you're not building your portfolio for yourself, you're building it for hiring managers. All right, you want to do it with some sense of diligence. All right, and then the first thing to note, I believe some of your writing is one of the, when you get into the internet for the first time, the first thing they tell you is get a mail. All right. So I know a lot of you have like mails, but the big question is, are your current mails even professional mails? All right. So people use mails like find Dave's 27 or beautiful, beautiful divar29 at hotmail.com. The problem with those mails is that they are not professional. So you want to be able to use professional mails like the one that's here, peterdavids@gmail.com. Yeah, that's a professional mail because it actually includes your first name and your last name. That's the way it's done in the professional world. You can use your other non-professional mail for something that's not even work related or your resume related. But when it comes to resume, you need to use a professional mail, all right? And then your resume, even though I'll share like an example later, I just need to highlight these very key important topics, important points. All right, you sometimes you need to always like skip summaries, objectives. All right, you are not a career changer, so sometimes some things are not necessarily important in your resume. So things like summary of what is actually summary of how why you left your previous job or whatever happened in your previous job. So some of those things are pretty much not important. All right. Another point to note is that you need to keep your resume as simple as possible, preferably in one page. I mean, except that you have like a 10 years experience, which I strongly doubt like anybody here sure does have one 10 years experience. So you need to keep your resume as simple as possible. Don't let it be too ambiguous with too many colors, with too many pages. Sometimes, because the truth of the matter is, hiring managers more often than none are reviewing like over 100 resumes. And so if your single resume have more than one page, then it's a turn off already. So you want to ensure that in one page you're able to capture just enough detail for them to say, hey, this person is sure a right candidate for us. All right. So that's very key. And then this is like one of the things that I do, and I know that's like standard for a lot of companies. Don't put your full address there. It's not like they want to visit in your house. All right. Currently, we are in a phase where people do remote jobs. So yeah, so it's not like they want to really visit in your house. The in terms of address, the best they want to know is that, oh, what's your country, what state are you in, and what city. So they don't want to know, oh, you are in number 40 Olaiwola Street, Abule Egba, Lagos. No, that's not really too important. Just put your city, your state, and your country. I think that's how standard resumes look like. Yeah, so if you have room for interest, all right, add your interest. Yeah, so and this is key because sometimes when your resume is reviewed and then you move to the next stage called a recruiter call. One of the things they want to see in your resume is that, oh, what are your interests? What are you interested in doing? All right. So aside the fact that you are a product designer, which means that you do UI UX, or you are a front end engineer, which means you understand React. What other things do you like to do? So I like to read books. I like to watch EPL or something. So don't let it be too much, but actually let it ensure that it's actually aligned with your personal interest. All right, and because that way you try to build some kind of personal connection with your interviewer, and this has worked for me and a lot of people over and over again. Yeah, so another thing is, I mean, it's good that they have currently too many resume builders, but one of the things you want to ensure not to have two columns in your resume, because the truth is, one of the things you want to do is to improve readability. All right, so don't get too creative with it. So don't have like more two columns. Like sometimes, because the truth of the matter is, when something is very simple, like very very simple with the adequate content, it makes more sense than when it's so busy and you're wondering why is there two columns and then one is full, the other one is half. Then they begin to think that, oh, this other column that really don't have much content shouldn't even exist at all. Because I mean, why have that second column where there's really nothing in there? All right, so try to just tie everything into one. And this aligns with the previous one I said, have one page. All right. So one of the things to also note is on your resume, you need to focus on your achievements, not responsibilities. They kind of look alike, but they really aren't alike. So here's the thing. So you're a front-end engineer, or you're a product designer, or you're trying to journey into becoming a PM. The truth is, how you differentiate achievement from responsibilities, that, oh, you're in a team of 5 people, and then you guys were pretty much aiming to build a fintech product. All right, until you assisted, to do something, and then, after like a month, the product went from EMV, MVP to become marketable. All right, so that's an achievement. That's a major achievement. So responsibility is, I did sign up. I did the sign up logic. I did the registration logic. Those are responsibilities. So try to focus more on your achievement, because the truth of the matter is they want to see how in 3 years, in 3 months of working in a small startup, you're able to achieve something, not that you're able to do something. Because the truth is, efforts in the business world is not necessarily measured too much. So people do things, but have they achieved from what you've been doing? So that's the difference between achievement and responsibility. All right. Now, in your resume, ensure that you focus on bullets. All right. So, paragraphs are really hard to quickly scan. So, ensure that even though you probably want to have paragraphs, you want to have headers, ensure that they are bullet pointed. All right. Ensure that you have bullets to identify certain sections in your resume. So prioritize your experience over skills. This can never be overemphasized. Some people will have, like, in their resume, too many skills. You have knowledge about HTML, CSS, JavaScript, React, Vue, Angular. Beautiful. Don't let that get too much attention in your resume. Instead, ensure that you can prioritize, like, let the hiring manager or the recruiter or the interviewer see your experience in your resume more than they can see your skills in your resume. Because the truth is, I had recently to review over 200, over half a thousand applications recently, actually. One of the things that I saw was the fact that some people just have like a lot of skills, and then when you have a call with them, they really aren't what they say they are. So I think one of the things you need to do is, we need to do as we begin a world-class resume, is to ensure to focus on experience rather than skills. All right. All right, so if you have a skill session, don't list your soft skills. All right, because I see a lot of people say, they are good, they are proactive, they are good listeners, they are good timekeepers. I mean, those are beautiful stuff to list there. But the truth is, there are other things you can actually that can take the part of that soft skill. The truth of the matter is, you don't really want to know if you're proactive or you're a good communicationist or whatever. Get the job done. When you start the job, they will now know if those soft skills are true or not, because that's what it is actually. Now, so yeah, I said it earlier. I won't emphasize on this. Keep it design simple. Don't get too busy with beautiful colors, creative profile images, and too many things. Just keep it simple. All right. And get creative with your action words. So instead of saying I helped, say enabled. All right. Use the word advised. Use the word recommended. All right. So you need to let the words in your resume be actionable. Let it look like it was something that you did and that you were happy that you did it. All right. So use actionable words in your resume. So yeah, this is very important. I need to really state this fact that more often than not, the amount of screen time your resume will get before someone decides a yes or a no is 10 seconds. So that's why all that I've been saying before now is really valid. Because the truth is, like I said, I had over 500, like in a month between, I think it was 28 of last month. And I think I ended all of that just Monday. I had over 500, myself and our recruiter team, because it was in my department and I needed to, screen. I was the only one in the department. I needed to screen people we wanted to employ. So 5 seconds, nobody wants to go reading. So this is really key. That's why you need to ensure it's one page, not too much design, take away unnecessary things, because it's just 10 seconds. If it goes more than this, like 15 seconds, all right? Now, in submitting your resume, one of the things you want to know is that when somebody says or meets you on LinkedIn or sends you on WhatsApp and say, hey, you know what, Milton, I have a job for you. And then, you know what, send me your resume on WhatsApp or send me your resume on LinkedIn, send me your resume on Twitter. What you should do is not to have your resume look like something like, my resume .pdf. No, you want to ensure that you take it personal. What do you do with that? You say, you name your resume in such a way that includes your first name, your last name. Yes. That's how you so because the truth of the matter is they probably have like 10 people, persons they told the same thing. So if your resume name is called my resume, they don't know it's you. So you don't want to skip any moment that you have. So you want to ensure that they know that it's your resume. So that's very important. All right. Now submit as a PDF, all right? Except that, when told to submit as a doc, it's always advisable to submit as a PDF, and this is because there are machines that take care of PDF-enabled resumes, all right? I'll talk about this in the next slide. So, like I said, yeah, you need to submit with PDF one. This is why there's something called ATS. It's called Applicant Tracking System. It's a database of potential and current job applicants. All right. So, when job is posted online and job boards, these ATS are actually responsible for tracking the resumes that are posted. All right. The large companies will use them to keep track of hundreds to thousands of possible employees, and that's why you need to meet all these criteria as I stated before, because your resume isn't be handled by individuals per se. They just click next, 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 next. So you need to be careful how this is done. All right. Now, how do you make this ATS software work for you? I think the reality is the reality of throwing your resume into the void is applying to hundreds of jobs on LinkedIn and all of these things. So you need to ensure that you use the proper keywords such that when the ATS is reviewing all those resumes, you are scanned out of 1,000, you are scanned out of hundreds. So you are singled out of 100. And it's very, very important. Okay, making the ATS work for you is pretty much whoever contacts you after receiving your resume this way. So external recruiters submit, resumes, right? So sometimes for those who are pretty much starting their journey, or those who are pretty much intermediate, sometimes external recruiters will come and say, "You can I have your resume," and they submit it to other companies. So sometimes your resume can get to like 4 different people before it gets to the hiring manager itself. So you make sure to tick all the boxes, otherwise it just gets lost in the air. So there are certain caveats you need to take note of. in dealing with the ATS. All right, so there's no transparency. You can't predict how the system would rate you because the ATS rates your resume. There are certain parameters that it follows, or the hiring manager just gives the ATS, and then the ATS follows certain parameters. So if your resume doesn't meet those certain parameters, then it's taken off the radar. So you need to ensure that it follows those parameters. Okay, it's also usually still a woman looking at the resume, so it's not like it's a pass and fail. If someone is adding your resume to the database, they will edit the fields and the password got incorrectly. So I think what I'm saying is, so I don't waste time. It's so that there are certain parameters you need to follow, all right, which is beyond the scope of this talk, that those ATS would check, and if you do not have those in your resumes, then pretty much you'll be skipped through. Maximize your keywords. I can't overemphasize this. Ensure that your keywords so if you're applying for a front-end role, ensure that you put in the right keywords. Don't say let your subject not be something like front-end developer, and that's all. In what? So some jobs are really specific. They are like React front-end engineer. They are like Vue.js. So ensure that those keywords meet with the job description. And this is very, very important. If you're a UI UX person, whatever you are, ensure that you use the right keywords. These are very, very important. All right. I know I'm going too fast. You need to pardon me for that. Now, another thing is when all of this is done before submitting your resume, some people just go ahead and just submit resumes. That's why you have people like Sadiq, like me, and then my other colleague will be talking after me to proofread your resumes. The reason is because you want to ensure that people already ahead of you can proofread and say, hey, guy, you did something wrong here. You can correct it. So ensure it's always proofread. You can use tools like Grammarly, like Quillbot to ensure that you proofread your resume before you actually do submit your resumes. All right. Spell check your resume. Sometimes when you're in a hurry, somebody says, give me a resume. You're in a hurry to just, do a lot of edits and then push it. No, use Grammarly. Check the spelling. Sometimes somebody says that it's not really about the spelling. No, it's about the spelling, because when ATS check your resume and it's spelled wrongly, there are chances that you will not even get to the first top 10 candidates. So ask someone else to proofread. Now, the truth is, while you do the proofreading yourself or really checking yourself, there are things you might not see. So ask somebody else to proofread your resume for you. So this is a sample resume. You observe that, it's just from some name of sort. So this is like sample resume. There are things you observe. The skills they are written there, all right? They prioritize experience more than just skills. So the skill section is pretty very minimal. The experience is pretty long, all right? And it's very easy, very minimalistic, very easy to read. I can read this in a few seconds. I don't have to skip or scroll down or scroll up, because this is very, very key. I think that's pretty much so if you want to try resume passers, you can try. I'll just give you like a few seconds to capture the screen, or I'll share my slide afterwards. But you can use this resume process to try to see if your resume meets certain criteria before you go ahead to submit it. All right, so I'll just keep it like for a second, or a few seconds, and I assume everybody captured it. I'll move on. And then these are the references that I used for the slides. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much, sir.
Oh, wow.
Or just anything you want to know about. Yeah, I assume that questions, I'll take like 5 minutes. If Emmanuel is cool with that, and allow Jessica take the ride.
Sure. So if you have your questions, please kindly ask it now, or you could, like I said, put it on the chat. Okay, Elliot, you can ask your question.
Okay. Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah.
Now, you were speaking on, let's say, aligning your resume correctly, and you said you would prefer if someone was to make more deliberation on their experiences and not skill.
So what I meant, I beg your pardon, was I did share like an example. You'd observe from the example is that the skill section in the resume was very decently filled. All right, it didn't take over a section. Of course, I like your skill, very important, but don't let it be the main focus of your resume. Ensure that your experience takes over like half chunk of your resume because that's what they want to see. So I didn't say you shouldn't highlight your skill. I mean, I did say don't highlight your soft skill because it's not important, but your technical skill, you definitely need to highlight them. But don't let it don't let it take a major part of the resume because it's just one page. All right, just one page. So you don't want to allow it to take over everything. Yeah.
All right, thanks a lot. I understand it now.
Any other questions?
Okay, let me
I
take a
guess
look
that's
at
all.
the chat.
Okay.
Okay.
They don't
So
seem to have any questions.
all right. So if there is no more question, okay. Wow, thank you so much, Blessing, for that session. I just noticed during your session that probably I've been doing things wrongly with my resume. I hope a lot of us we are learning a lot from this session, and I'm also taking my notes. And so let me just give a second if somebody is typing, if you have any network issue. Since nobody is typing, if you want to ask a question, you could just unmute and ask. You could just raise your hands and unmute and ask. If there is none, I'll move on to the next speaker. And she has 30 minutes. I noticed Blessing was, really moving real fast. So, Jessica, you have 30 minutes so you could express yourself as much as you want to. So, you don't feel, hurried. So, but I got every single thing that, Blessing, shown out to us and for us. So, and okay, all right. Okay, so, Jessica, hello.
Sorry, somebody's raising their hands. I don't know if
Okay,
you
someone
have a
is
question.
raising. All right. John Kingsley, can you ask your question, please?
Thank you very much. My question goes to Mr. Blessing. Sorry, the question I asked earlier, when you were giving me the solution to the problem, I was disturbed by network, so I should be kind enough to drop it in the in message. So that would be nice. Let me go there and do it for myself. Thank you very much.
You're talking about getting the slide.
I mean, the hackathons that have been coming across, some of the hackathons, like development, student develop, it's not kind of student, that's a developer uh, club which I joined online. So they do post some hackathons which you can
Oh,
figure out different tasks to help you and finish it off.
yeah. So that's beyond the scope of my talk. I'm sure Emmanuel can help on that actually.
Okay, sorry, I wasn't able to hear you properly. There was some background noise. If you could reiterate, please.
Okay. My question is about the hackathons I said I missed online. Like, can I bring some of those hackathons to the students club so that they will help me out with it? Like one or two people that will join me and do the hackathon. It's a huge
Okay,
project.
okay. Um, okay. I think I will answer that question like this. Truth is, the community is to raise developers, right? To build developers. So, how they spend their skill, to attend different hackathons is open. You can attend as much hackathons as you want to because at the end of the day, it improves your skill. And if you can use your skill to improve the community and help others grow, then I think that's fine. So that's one of the reasons you have meetups like this. You have hackathons in the first place, so that you can meet new persons, people that have different skill set than you. You can network with them, and you could build up ideas. That is the entire, that's the whole purpose of it. So if you have an idea, you bring it to your network that you've built, to bring it to the community, and I think that would move on from there. I don't know if that answers your question.
Yeah, that answered it correctly. Thank you very much. So
Okay.
now another question that is, how are we gonna connect with ourselves, like the contact? How are we going to get our contact? Like, so if I
Okay.
wanna contact anybody, to reach you.
Elliot, can you send the WhatsApp group link, the general group link on the chat?
Yeah, sure. Let
All
me do
right.
that now.
So you take a look at the chat. You will see a WhatsApp link for the general community group. So you can join in and be part of the community, and you can network from there. Is that fine?
Okay, thank you very much.
All right.
Yeah, yeah.
So is there any more question before I move?
No, we can move on for now. There's no more questions.
All
It's
right.
been enough.
Thank you. Okay, so next speaker and final speaker for today's event is Jessica. Jessica is going to be talking to us. First of all, definitely, please, Jessica, I would like you to share your experience a lot, because there are several situations that, especially for during our discussion, I did make mention that I want to encourage girls a lot into tech, because I've met with amazing developers, I've met with amazing persons that are ladies that are into tech, and their ideas are invaluable, infallible. So it would be real nice if you could share some of your experience apart from your topic, so that we can all learn, because I look forward to that. So Jessica, I think over to you.
Okay, cool. Good evening. Wait, sorry. Good afternoon, everyone, because it's still afternoon in my time.
Yes, it is
My
here
name is
too.
Jessica Randall, and I am a GDC alumni lead, a Women Tech Maker ambassador, a Microsoft Student Learn ambassador, and a soon to be editor of Digital Go Africa. So I'm going to share my screen. My slides are not as technical as blessings, but it's just very short because I'll be doing most of the talking. So it's like keywords, but you're welcome to take notes and I will be as expressive as possible. So my topic for today is shaping my career in life with GDC. So how GDC kind of shaped my personality, brought out the best in me, and how it shapes my career. So you can follow me at just Jess ZA, that's my Twitter handle. So I'm just going to give you some background story on how I got into GDC. So I'm not a computer major. So I actually am a maths major. So I had a friend, he started GDC at my university, and I was affiliated with his club. And that's how I learned about GDC and I got to be involved. And then along with he was looking for another lead because his term has ended, and he asked me if I would consider being a Google student developer lead, and I was a bit, and just because I'm not a computer major, like I know nothing about coding and everything. And then he said, it's not that, like, you have leadership skills and you will learn what you don't know. So I took the opportunity and I never looked back. And it was the best decision I ever made. So that's just a storyline of how I actually became a Google student developer lead, and further on how I entered the world of tech. So my journey and direction has really changed. So I'm a math major, but my current job is a project coordinator at the SA Innovation Summit. So I took a complete turn. So there's many different roles in tech. other than being a software developer, front end developer, a back end developer, and a full stack developer. So there's like many other different options. There's UI UX design, there is a program manager, there's a product manager. There are many like other leadership roles in tech that I didn't know about. So I realized that I actually really want to do what my boss does. A while does he's the same as what Sadiq is, but he's now moved to GDG communities. So I knew kind of like, okay, I really like this. So that's how I ended up being a project coordinator for SAYS. So the company that I currently work for is into like tech and innovation, and we work with startups and how we can assist them with funding and how we can get other companies and corporates to invest in them, which is a really nice process. And I like working with tech startups, and it's really interesting to see their vision and mission, because it's nice to see people want to be founders and start their own business, and there's power in entrepreneurship. So that's how my journey and direction has really changed, but I don't think I would change anything. So basically, from my story and my journey and my direction, I would like to say it doesn't matter what major you're in, changing to tech is possible. It's not easy, but it is possible, and it's very much interesting. So just context. And yeah, that's where I am currently now. I'm a project coordinator at SAYS, and I love my job, and I really want to get into some of the big companies that everyone knows, like Google, Microsoft. So I'm kind of heading in that direction. So basically, GDC shaped what I really wanted to do. So I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I did my degrees and I loved every aspect of it, but it helped me see what I really value and what I really want to be a part of. And the culture is really inviting. And that's how GDC helped shape my career. Also helped me find confidence in who I am and gave me lots of direction, and also helped me find sponsors and mentors. So sponsors are different to mentors. So sponsors are like people who speak on behalf of you when you're not in the room, which is not quite like a reference, but they promote you and they're there for you. And then I also got lots of mentors, which I still have today, and they helped me get into the career that I'm in now and are helping me move forward. So that's how GDC has kind of shaped where I'm going. And yeah, that's basically how they're helping me shape my career. And I'm just going to speak a little bit about the resources that GDC gives you. So, number one is community. So, having like a family that you can talk to if you need help with any other language, because as a developer you can't know every single language. There's bound to be something you're not going to know, and you're going to need someone to explain it to you, because it's quicker than reading and watching a video. Sometimes just being briefed makes it easier, and you just feel loved and support and get lots of different opportunities and advice from people in the fields that you want to be expert in. And then the next one is leadership and mentorship. So leadership in the sense that you maybe want to start a project with someone and you're leading like a certain part of that project, and then you learn how to do that properly and with all the things in place. And then mentorship is also really important. So I want to say any job that you're ever going to do, you need a mentor or someone who's going to look out for you in the journey ahead. Because number one, you're starting out, so you can't see further than the they say you can't see the forest from the trees. It's a saying. So you can't really like see everything. Like you can't see the bigger picture. Some people have that ability, but some people need someone to kind of just help them navigate that world, especially if you're new to tech. Then mentorship is really important. Finding someone that's going to have the best intentions for you is really something to consider. Friends. So I have lots of friends that are helping me in my new journey into tech. So I do know how to code. So I'm just going to give you like some context. I do know how to code, but I know how to code in math and stats languages. So I know how to code in SAS and MATLAB. I do know a bit of SQL and I do know a bit of R, but I wouldn't say I'm an expert in it. So I know that I really want to do Android development. So I have a friend that is teaching me Java, and she's really good, and I love how she does the lessons. And that's why it's also important to make friends, because they help you start the journey that you really want to start. And then you also get like your line managers. So at the moment, Sadiq is your leads manager, and he will they support you and they support the communities, and that's really nice because it makes you feel loved and encouraged, and that's something that's really important. And then also sponsors. So within this GDSC community, you get to meet other Google affiliated members. So there's Women Tech Makers, and there's GDG, which is Google Developer Communities, which is more like for the professionals that are still affiliated with Google. And then I think, yeah. And then you also have the Google Developer Experts. So you really get to meet broad, like it's not just within the clubs, you get to meet all the other different people in the programs that Google has, which is a chance to meet sponsors, mentors, and friends. So it's it's the opportunities are wide and the connections are global. I say global because I've got friends in Kenya, I've got friends in Germany, and I've got friends in the UK, and we still keep in touch, and I'm hoping to visit them soon. So the connections are global and networking is amazing. Um, so I'm just going to give some perspective for women in tech, or yeah, for women in tech. So being a woman in tech is really hard. There's like a point where the only, I want to say majority of the office is just men. So you might feel like intimidated, but you shouldn't be. You deserve to be there. You have the knowledge, you have the intellect. You just need to have courage and be confident and to not give up. So that's number one. It's really hard because you feel all of these emotions, and sometimes you don't have friends or communities, but that's when what you don't have, you have to create. So create it for yourself. Like if you find you don't really have like a work colleague or friend that you are like affiliated with, or you need someone to support you in the workplace, you can create your own little community of women in tech and start like your own little club of support. And it's really, it makes the journey so much better. So I, yeah, so I'm not going to say it's easy because it's not, but it's not hard or it's not impossible. So it's not easy, but it's not impossible. So there is a possibility. So that's how you should view yourself entering into tech as a woman. And I'm a woman of STEM, so I know exactly what you're going through. So I'm just going to give some experiences. So I work in an office where, like, I want to say half is men, but also the people that are like in the tech part of the side of it is men. So sometimes I feel intimidated when I suggest something because I do know tech. Like I'm not completely clueless. Um, and then like I feel confident suggesting something, whether they like it or not. So I definitely think you need to own who you are. You need to be grounded in who you are, um, to enter that world, because you're going to face like a lot of criticism, and there's going to be a lot of feelings that you're gonna feel and explore. So I just feel like having a good support system, knowing exactly what you want, what you came for, having your goals in your mind every single day kind of makes the journey a little easier, just a little bit. So I would like to give encouragement to all the women in the audience. Be bold, be brave and confident. Know your worth. Like you deserve to be in tech. You know what you're doing, then you shouldn't feel like you shouldn't be there. So that's you deserve to be there. And then don't be afraid to ask for assistance. So I've noticed sometimes in the workspace where you might not like know something, you shouldn't feel afraid to admit that you don't know something. And that's just like one of the things to keep in mind when you're a woman, because obviously when you're a woman, you think, oh, if I ask this, then they're going to think I don't know. And yeah, but you shouldn't feel that way. Just ask for assistance. And GDSC is like the realm of support. I say this because it's true. um, they support you even when you're not a lead anymore. I still am with my community and they still support me even though I'm not really involved. But the support is always there. Like they're there for you, they love you, they provide you with all the opportunities and internships, and it's like family. Yeah, it's the family that you don't always see or speak to, but when you do, it's like they never left. So, encouragement for everyone in the room, not just for the women, but for everyone going into tech. It's not easy, but it's not impossible. So, there is a possibility. And I'm going to leave you with this quote by Walt Disney. Um, I love this quote because I love it. So, it says, all our dreams can come true if we have the courage to pursue them, by Walt Disney. So I'd like to leave you guys with that quote. And if you have any questions, I will still be available. Thank you for your time.
Wow. Thank you so much, Jessica. Okay, so I saw some persons raising up their hands. If you have any question, please put it in the chat, and I would okay, I would um ask Jessica if she could answer, or I also will answer it for you. And before I ask the question that I'm seeing right now on the chat, before I ask the question I'm seeing on the chat, um, she made mention of having difficulty maybe coming into tech. I've met even guys who meet me and say, oh, I want to come into tech, but I don't know how to. And they have the phobia of coming into tech, feeling that tech is for brainiacs, people that are guru. You don't have to be, for you to come into tech, you don't have to be a badass in programmer or a badass in basically anything at all. That's why you are learning. You come in to learn. That's why the community is also here to help you learn. You don't have to be the best in your school. I've met people that probably are not even, let's say in their choosing course of study in school. They are choosing course of study in school. They might not be doing well, but when they come into programming, into development, into UI UX, you see them excelling. So that's one of the beautiful things. When Jessica was speaking, and she said she's a math major, and now she's in tech, managing, doing some management related um, you know um, things in a company that she works with. That proves, that shows you that the community actually is what brought her to the place where she's working right now. the experience she gained from the community, managing a community, that's what has brought her to the space. She's not, basically, let's say, doing what, if I'm to abstract it, what she actually learned in school, you know, uh, usual syllables in school, but what she gained while being part of the GDSC community. So that's why I always reiterate and mention this a lot. All right, so let me ask the question that somebody is asking on the group. They say, how would you know if your acquired skills are okay for getting a job? Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna try and answer this one
Okay.
in the best way possible. Okay, so obviously when you look at the job description, right, they will say like what they expect from the person who is applying. So I think it's not so much if you have the acquired skills, it's how you sell what you do have. And then also look at what they want. So um, I'm just going to give you an example. I know someone who said, um, when I was looking at the interview questions that I got in my interview, they would ask like questions like, how do you deal with conflict? So it's like you have to pick a situation in which you were dealing with conflict, but you need to explain your method of processing of dealing with it in the best way possible. So you can have like minimum acquired skills, right? But it's how well you sell it. Like if you're going to interview, they're going to ask you like a whole list of questions. I didn't know like I've built like a, how do you say, like a list of questions that they normally ask and have practiced answering them or thought of good situations in which you answer them. So I feel like you will never say, you can never say like if you know you have the acquired skills for the job, because maybe what do you think they mean when they say what they require and what they think they mean when they say what they require could be two very different things. So you shouldn't look at it like that. You should look at what they want and then look at what you have and then think of the best way to market yourself with what they have and how it could link to what they want. Or think of stories or experiences that would best explain what they want and what you have. I hope that makes sense or helps a bit.
Okay, thank you. Yes, so Milton, does that answer your question? Hello? Okay, so he said yes. So thank you.
Hopefully.
Um Someone is asking, let me read this. This community, is it open to embedded system engineers since it has programming embedded in it? Yeah, I would say yes. The community is open to all tech fields, regardless of what you're into, AR, VR, embedded system, machine learning. So the community is a tech community, right? So it doesn't matter the field. It is not just only for web. It's not only for UI UX. So you have different tech specialty and just as Jessica and Sadiq said, there are several resources that would be provided in the course of our different meetings across the year that will help you improve on these skills that you have and also help you network and also help you build a community that could later on probably turn to a job or a business or you know whatever you're working towards. So Francis, I don't know if that answers your question. While he's coming to answer, Francis, can you hear me? Does that answer your question? All right. So if there's any question, any more question, please ask in the chat. And
Okay, maybe I can add on to what Emmanuel said. So there's many aspects to tech, right? So in one of the communities I'm a part of, I met someone who's actually studying like law for cybersecurity, which is also like really interesting because obviously now laws are being put in place with regards to data and personal information and stuff. So it's like you really get to see like tech is huge. Like there are like very technical roles, but there's a lot of different like roles within tech, and sometimes we forget about that. A lawyer could actually work for a tech company, and a marketer could actually work for a tech company. So yeah, it's or a psychologist could actually work for a tech company. So it's really very broad and just something to keep in mind.
all right, thank you so much, Jessica. Okay. So if I could share my screen. Okay, you're welcome, Francis. I believe probably you're having an issue. All right. So I would like to, if you're in the university, Federal University Utweke, can you just say hi in the chat so that I can know how many of you are connected from the university? Okay. Okay. All right. So I don't know if you can see my screen.
We can see your screen.
Okay. All right. So I want to talk to those of you that are not yet, members of the core team, and I want to use this as an opportunity to, to request. Like somebody was talking about embedded system, like Jessica also reiterated, the community is broad, right? You have a lot of field in tech. So currently, what is currently aligned here is not all that is required. So I want to use the opportunity to call on you if you're a Flutter developer, if you're an Android developer, maybe data science and machine learning. If you're cloud, in fact, every single tech field you have there, and also if you're good at managing events, you're very good at graphic designing, publicity, and all. I want to use this as an opportunity and as a call for sign up and for taking these roles and taking this responsibility, because during the during this session, we'll be having a lot of meetups, we'll be having a lot of programs to help you and those that are interested in this particular field, right? So if there's any a field that is here that you're very good at and you want to lead that team, kindly reach out to me. Um, kindly reach out to me. Elliot, can you kindly put my details on the chat so that they can get to reach out to me, and also on the group you can reach out to
All
me.
right,
So
sure, sure, sure.
you can tag
Now I
me.
think they will be able to. Ima,
Yes, I can hear you.
I already dropped the WhatsApp group link, so I think when they join there, they could just send you a DM. They'll see you as an admin in the group.
All right, so you could reach out to me and say, I have these particular skills, and you could start up a core team. You could be a part of the core team and also start up a team with that field. So then finally I want to introduce you to our core team, the ones that have signed up to be
System
lead.
unified.
So you can see our UI UX designer and lead. You can see the blockchain lead, community manager lead, who is the person that was speaking just earlier. So you can also reach out to him for any ideas you have. So basically, the idea about this is to expand, is to grow, right? Is to grow. So regardless of what what area you're very good at in tech, the idea is for you to join a community, help the community grow as much as it helps you grow. So it's a win-win situation for me. That's how I see it. So it's a win-win situation. So do apply to be a lead, do apply to be part of the community. If I could just get the, just give me a second. So if you join the group, you would see, would send a link for those of you that have already joined the group. You would see a link to join the community. So we have a community page on the Google GDSC community. So you have different communities available. So you would want to join our community, Federal University Otweke, and be part of, you know, making tech move to the next level, because every single year we have new technology, we have new ideas, we have new things come up. So you might be the next, tech guru that would be looking up to and also learning from. So you're all welcome to that. If there's any question before I round up this session and close the event. All right, so there's no question. Jessica, any final words before I round up? Hello, Jessica, can you hear me? Okay. Sorry, can anybody hear me? Let me ensure that you can hear me.
Yes, I can hear you.
All right, thank you. All right, so that is fine. So I
Probably
believe,
she has network issue.
yeah, or I don't know if you're talking. If you're talking, your mic is muted. If not, I would close the meeting. All right, so let me continue and close up. Keep an eye on the space, right? Keep an eye on the community. We'll be having a an introduction to open source technology very soon. So keep an eye on the space to be part of it. So um, GitLab, GitHub, and several other open source technology for machine learning for AI. So you'll be introduced. We'll be having different sets of speakers talk to you about it, train you on how to, guide you on how to start with these open source technologies, because they are really amazing to get into and use to build your idea or your project. So keep an eye on the space. That's why it's very important you join the community group, so that you can be updated and sign up for the event when it holds. So if there is no more question, I would like to thank every one of you for showing up for the event this afternoon. I'm sure you learned something because I did. I did learn a lot, and I want to also finally appreciate the speakers, guest speakers. Thank you, Jessica. Thank you, Blessing, and thank you so much, Sodiq. Thank you for, you know, coming to the event to train us and to inform us. Thank you so much. So let me just take this. All right. So that's fine. So for those of you that are in the university, we'll have a lot to do when a lot of physical meet, and we'll get to meet each other and probably even organize ones that would bring Jessica over physical. So thank you so much. Yeah. All right. So thank you. See you in the next event.
Thank you for having me.
All right, thanks a lot. Thank you.